She taking over. She taking over. You taking over. You got that takeover spirit. Nah, boy, I ain't with. You got that takeover spirit. And nah, boy, I ain't with. You got that takeover spirit. And nah, girl, I ain't with it.
You're inside the Coffee Cup with the Inglewood City Girls. I am Coffee MiAmor.
I'm Danielle.
I'm Kahmeela.
And our special guest is
5.
Hey, let's clap it up for 5.
Yeah.
She came a long she came a long way, and I couldn't wait to have this interview with you.
Yeah.
I asked Cammy like, "Oh, can I interview 5?" Because the first time I saw you, I was so enamored with you and your beauty. I saw you at Pimps and Kinfolk.
Okay.
And you had on like
my hair was ginger, and I had like
yeah,
a
it
leopard
was
dress
no,
on.
it was blue. Was it ginger?
You probably see me at different events because
Okay,
it's always changing.
okay.
First, it was like a Nipsey royal blue.
Okay.
Nice. And then,
so wait, it wasn't blue that day with a blue purse?
girl, it could have been.
I think it was blue with a blue purse, and I said, not the hair and the purse game.
That's
I
right.
saw the shoe in the purse game, but I ain't never saw the hair in the purse game. I was like, come through.
Oh yes, it was
It
at that event. Because then it
was.
was his birth. I thought you meant his birthday.
No. His birthday, I think you had like a brown.
Yeah, it was blue hair.
It was blue. It
Baby
was
hair.
yes, and the blue bag. I said, "Come all the
I
way
love that.
through."
I love that.
And I just kept staring. I was like, "I hope she don't think," but I'm like,
Nah.
you are flawless." And I was telling Cammy like, "Oh my gosh," she was like, "Oh yeah, that's where it is." So that was so cool to meet you. And then I did see your hair another color. So I guess I have a question, like, how do you keep your edges? Because my edges will be gone if I went through.
Girl, it's so funny because you can't listen. I've been skinhead ball before, so it's not like I always can.
Nice.
I cannot say I can keep them because I've cut my hair as low as I
Really?
possibly can. But it grows back, sis,
So fast.
so fast.
That's
like
what's
I
up.
used to get like the name Chia Pet almost in a sense because my hair would grow
So fast.
So I could shave it off and just be like, whatever, it's gonna
Right.
grow back in
Yeah.
like 2 weeks.
But everybody can't rock no short hairstyle. You know what I'm
Not
saying?
everybody has the head for it. Or
And
the
it's
face.
not even
Or
that.
body.
Some people just don't know how to make it right for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
you
saying?
have to have I feel like you as a woman, you have to have confidence when you're rocking short hair.
Absolutely.
Even if it might not be your thing, like
Absolutely.
other people feel it or dig it.
Right.
As long as you
You
rock
embody
it
that,
and
yes.
you like have that confidence
Yes.
behind
Yeah.
it, your outfit, the way you
Yes.
carry yourself
Yes.
with it, I feel like
It's a whole
all
vibe.
women can be beautiful with the short hair.
Yes, it's a whole vibe. So I'm feeling that. And then she's like, "Oh, she does her own nails." I'm like, "Come through, like,
Yeah,
girl,
I
do it
my own
all."
makeup, hair, and all of that. Because I was a cosmetologist before.
Really?
I got into. Well, I was always an artist, like music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what the dream was. You know, that's always just embedded in you, who
Right.
you are. But along the way, I gotta get money, right?
Right.
And cosmetology was just the way I did it
Yeah.
because I was just creative in that sense of art, you know, like makeup, all that stuff, you know, hair. So, you know, I was like, I might as well get money off of this.
Right.
Till I get to what the bigger picture of what I want
Absolutely.
to do. So that's kind of like where I
I
started.
love that because I like to direct and write and produce. And on that journey, I was like, listen, in order to get an audience, I need to reinvent myself this way. And so I started a podcast. And then I'm on
I
my
love it.
journey.
It's a
I
vibe.
did. Thank you.
I love this. This is a vibe.
Thank you.
And I love seeing Black women doing their thing and like really sticking to it, and it looks good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
'Cause
yes.
This is a good look.
Thank you. And you are a good look here with us, okay? So that makes me happy too, because you are doing your shit.
Thank you.
Being in Queen and Slim, you know what I'm saying? And you talked earlier about how scary that was. Or not scary, but how you had to step up to the plate.
You have to step up to the plate as far as, but if you say this is what you do, this is what you do.
You have to turn it
If
on.
this is who you are, this is what you got to bring.
Right.
Especially being around legends that have been doing it for such a long time, to where it's just like, if you saying that you can walk these shoes too,
Me too.
and you want that respect of that, then you got to bring it.
And you brought it. Don't you think you brought it?
Yeah.
Girl, you brought that game. So I was
Yeah.
like, do you? And I was like, what? That was her? Shut up. So you sound like you have an accent. Where are you from?
Originally I'm from Boston. So you might hear that whole
I hear it,
type
Girl,
accent.
that is so cute.
Yeah.
It's like Cardi. It feels like Cardi B, no?
No, she's New York.
I know,
And
but
it's
it
so
gives
funny
me
because people
such-
that are from Massachusetts or Boston do
Yeah.
not like to be compared. And New Yorkers do not like to be compared either because it's like they feel a certain type of. It's like the Yankees and the
Yeah.
Red Sox. The whole
But don't you
rivalry
agree
type
it's
thing.
really close or sounds
It's close
similar?
because I feel like all the up north accents are though.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because it's different. From
Okay.
especially Southern. I don't know. I've lived in Atlanta. I don't know if you guys ever been to Atlanta.
I've been to Atlanta.
Yeah, so when you move from, because I've moved to Atlanta for like 2 years. So when you move from up north and you're starting to go like further, it gets kind of tricky where you're
Yeah.
like, what is going on around me?
Yes. So I know y'all want to say something, but I want to know, how did you get into that role? Listen, how did the role, because you are an artist.
An artist.
So
first.
how did that role present itself for you in Queen Islam?
The craziest thing ever, and I tell people to this day, sometimes you just gotta check them, but the DMs. It was actually a casting agent from somewhere. She was in New Orleans. RPM Casting, it was called actually. And she slid in my DM, but I thought it was
That's what I was gonna say. How did you?
Right.
So you looked at, because people come in my DMs all the time. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like, or in my emails.
Yeah.
And how do
think
you
it's
know it's
spam?
real?
It was her
Exactly.
Abby that stuck out to me.
Okay.
Like she was just out the box different. So I'm like, who is this in my DM? Click, because normally I'm seeing men.
Right,
That's just
right,
what it's gonna
right,
be.
right.
Or like scammers, whatever.
Right.
So I click on her and I'm just like, what? And I start reading it, and she was like, we would love for you to audition for this film called Queen and Slam. So I'm like, oh, this is a catfish. There's no way.
Right.
Like this is just these people again coming in here and trying to start. And then I was like, let me just click on this thing because I seen Daniel Hallelujah. And I
Right.
know him from Get Out.
Right.
So I was like, and then I seen Lena Waithe, and I'm like, wait, click. And of course, it gives me our article
Right.
about the movie coming out. So I'm like, okay, now it's time to do the research.
Right.
Did the research on her casting agency. And I was like, oh, wow, this is
Yeah,
legit.
it's real. Yeah.
It's real.
That's
And
dope.
I almost missed that opportunity.
Because you didn't check your DM.
And
Or
not
you would
only
know.
that, thinking it was a catfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't shake that one. So if I didn't do the research, like some people probably wouldn't,
Yeah.
they would have missed an
That's
opportunity.
what's up.
Mm-hmm.
That
So is music or acting, which one are you like chasing the most?
Oh, girl. I've been chasing music for years.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Because
it's not easy to get up in there.
And that's why I think I want it so bad.
Yeah.
And knowing that the talent that I have,
Mm-hmm.
not just of the gimmicky things that you see now to get
That's
in the
right.
industry, but me knowing that I have talent and I don't want to be on my deathbad like, yo, why didn't
Right.
I never really do this?
Yeah.
You know, knowing it was also my dream, even if acting came into the, now that it is in the picture, but not giving it, you know, the music my full attention too.
Right.
And kind of like, just like, oh, whatever, now I'm getting this money and now this is how it's going to go over
Right.
here. So let me do this. So I was just like, nah, music is like
Right.
the goal for me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
How-
how go ahead.
How long have you been interested in music?
Since I was like 2.
Yeah.
That's
it was
what-
like
When
the
it's in
womb.
you.
Great
It's
minds
in
think
you.
alike.
It's
Because I
in
was
me.
literally like, well, how long you been doing
Yeah.
this? Because she
Girl.
said,
you were able to
since I was a
talk?
baby, because
Yeah.
my dad was in the industry, so he used to do bodyguard work for Sister Sledge and Rick James.
Okay.
And he limo drove for Michael Jackson, and
Wow.
Rick, he'd
Stories
been on
are nice.
tours with Rick James. So the music was always in my family. So I watching my dad, and he was in a music group, he can sing. Watching my dad is kind of like, oh, this is what I want to do.
Right.
So like he would take me to concerts. So like at the age 2, like he always has this story about how I crawled on the stage and was up there on the stage. Like I forgot what band was performing, but they wasn't paying attention to me, and I got up on that stage.
What?
Yeah, it was a story they always used to tell, and because my dad would put us on camera when we was younger and have us do like dance and sing and show our talents pretty much. And it was kind of that's where it started for me. You know what I mean? Like being on camera, being able to be comfortable with being on camera is because of how, you know, it all started.
Right.
And it was just always music because I would sing, I would dance, I would write. I write all my music.
do it all.
Wow. And then I was just like, this is it for me. I'm going to start going to chorus.
Right.
Then I was, in chorus.
Right.
And then we would do competitions.
Right.
And we would win championships. So for me, I'm like,
hey.
This is...
right.
Then you have the plays and stuff like that.
Right.
I never really got too much into like theater or Broadway. I would love to do it.
So creatively, that's what it sounds like. You're like well-versed creatively.
Yeah.
You can do it pretty much all.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
crazy.
And it's crazy. I feel like with artists, it's like that though. Like you find out there's other things that you're really too talented at. You know,
that's
what I mean?
how they go insane, honestly, because it's like I don't know, and everything is pulling at you. You know what I'm saying?
Never lie. And mental health. That's why I feel like mental health, especially in our community, is so necessary.
Right.
Because it's hard.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I do.
It's
I
hard.
believe in mind, body, and soul. Get that therapist, get the massages often, and work out. That's
Get that
just how you do.
sage.
Girl,
meditate.
I would burn my sage in
now.
the day.
For real.
You would come to my house and I would start saging
I
the
swear,
house.
I was saging so much now I'm allergic to it. I'm like, I gotta get some clarity because I'm in here.
Yeah.
And
it really works.
Have to, yeah.
So what sign are you?
Yes.
Yes.
Leo, Aquarius.
No, you can't. She said guess.
I'm getting close.
No, she got it right on the first
You can't go.
No.
6.
But she got it on the first try, though.
Leo.
They're
Leo.
polar opposites, though. So it's either Leo or Aquarius.
I didn't feel Aquarius. I felt fire, so I thought Sag. Because Leo is air.
The Sages are so compatible
Aquarius.
with Leos.
I know that Leos and Aquarius are they're polar opposites. So I'm an Aquarius.
Okay.
But my rising is a Leo. So I'm like, I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, Leo. Definitely
Leo,
a
August
9th. Whitney Houston.
Oh, okay. That's like a day after
the
my
great
mom.
and the late Whitney.
Wow. So you spoke of your siblings. You do have siblings.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Okay.
It was like Papa. Hold on, the Papa was a roll. Yeah, it was.
That is crazy.
Okay, what about your mom? How many on you?
They're equal.
Both. Yeah.
They're equal.
What do you mean they're equal?
With the kids, the amount of kids that they had with before
Girl,
and up until now.
Separately outside of each other.
Yes.
Girl, shut it up.
Are you close to your siblings?
Yeah, some of them, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, family. I feel like family, you can't say you're never really close because they're family still.
Yeah.
So it's like it's always that door open to reconcile. So
and they're the only mother on this planet that get that room. It's like, fuck them.
Exactly.
But if they call you or, you know what I'm saying, if they die, you're going to be at their funeral. You ain't going to be at the other ones you say F them.
At the end of the day. So it's like, it's always that room to, okay, if we do fall out with friends, you fall out. There might never be anything after that. No reconciling.
That's a close book.
But family, unless they really, really burn you, but even when they really, really burn you sometimes.
It's still a door.
It's still family.
That was well said, because I don't know what other way to say them but F them. But you know, you be the one, like I said.
feel you though, but it depends on your season with them.
You're right.
Because right now you might feel that way, like here right now, but later in life,
you better
might
preach
be
to my
something.
soul.
Look, I need therapy too, sis.
You better preach to my soul. See, some of y'all family, y'all might have a chance.
It has to do with love.
Yeah.
Because you can have some family members that, oh, Jesus, they're challenging. And then you may have some that's just like, okay, we're going to go through what we're going through right now, but we're going to see tomorrow. And that's all that matters. And it's love.
That is all that matters.
Y'all got to preach to me. Come on, Jesus, pass the hat.
No, I feel you with that.
Tell us a little bit about your upcoming, like your environment that you lived in.
Well, it was it's like the movies. You know what I mean? With Black families.
Broken household.
Broken, not just, and for me, I don't think it's just more so of broken where it's just like it's all bad, because broken could be financial issues, abuse, emotional. It could be all these different things.
Right.
So it's like, I wouldn't say I never had nothing, right? I never came from where it was like we were struggling so hard where we couldn't have ends meet. But the things that happen with Black families, meaning moms, dads, a family dynamic, and all the mess that comes with that.
Nothing's picture perfect.
That is
family secrets, family trolls.
Even the Brady Bunch was fucked up. Like,
were they?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't see that.
But you know what? It's like, even when they put on facade sometimes, like even when you have the Cosbys, right? People want to feel like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be like. And that's kind of like the biggest issue that we had with the audience for Queen and Slim, because everybody wanted to see this happy, perfect ever after with these
and it did not end that way.
And it didn't end that way. And they was upset about it. But I'm like, y'all, this is our reality.
This is the truth. Yeah.
This is the truth, and I know it hurts, but this is the hard truth.
Right.
So it's just like, what do y'all want at the end of the day? Do y'all want our Black stories to really be told and told truthfully? Or do you want these white people to be telling our stories in a different way?
People are tired. I think that culturally, some people are just tired of the same rigmarole when it comes to, it's either far-fetched perfect or far-fetched like, come on, there's some in between.
There's some in between.
You know?
Because I feel like it's still might be some good, it could be all bad, but in certain homes, it still can be some good times when things are bad, especially when you do have siblings, because it's like y'all are going through those
together.
situations.
I literally just said this. I was telling them how poor I was growing up. And they're like, oh, shocked, and they're clutching their pearls. But this is family. They're all family, but
family.
We're clutching. They're clutching their pearls, and I'm like, but it was normal. You don't know that you're struggling. You don't know. You're just there with the love.
And the thing is that was more of me clenching my pearls at the time, because like she said, we are family, and that wasn't my story. You know what I mean? And sometimes my struggle and my story in my life. It's like when you hear someone else's story, it's like, well, damn, thank you, Jesus, because I didn't have to experience that, but I may have experienced, this is hypothetically, but my mom didn't love herself or something, so it goes to her children, and then I'm broken in the heart where she wasn't broken. She probably was, her mom just didn't have the money, but she had the love, you know? So you can come from broken families from a lot of different ways.
She just hit it on the head with that, what she just said, because it's like, it's almost like an ongoing cycle. You got to understand, they're raising you the only way that they know how. So it really just depends on what they went through as children as well.
I was talking to someone that was doing like a service for me, and we started talking about like having gray hairs in places that women don't discuss. You know, and it's like, oh, when you see that, you freak out. You know, like, why didn't no one tell me that this is a thing? And then she said to me, she was like, well, how old was your mom when she had you? I'm like, oh, she was 18. She's like, yeah, my mom was 16 when she had me. She's like, you have to understand that they were in a time in their life where they hadn't even experienced that. So how could they tell you how to do something they haven't even experienced?
It's so crazy you said that, because my mom's mom was forced to be married at 12.
Oh my God.
Was it an arranged marriage or
it was
forced?
like,
well, was
it
he
was
12?
in Virginia, Charlottesville or something, Virginia, and I think it was the time when, you know, when the fathers could pretty much give their daughters away.
What in
for
the
a cow?
Like what you've seen on Color Purple. You know what I mean? Like things like that going on. So it's just kind of like, when I think, if this was the type of people you was getting raised by,
right?
And then
how did you know to give me something that I grew up and said I needed?
What do you guys think that marriage is about love or business?
Whew.
I think it depends on the individual.
It really does. It depends on you as a person of how you find love. Like what, as far as love goes, as far as what you want from it. You know what I mean? Like
what your motive is.
Yeah. Because some people look at it as like, hey, I'm financially straight. Yeah. I'm good. I don't need him to love me. A lot of females do that now in the industry.
Do you find that it's hard to be a female artist in the industry?
Ooh. girl.
Like, because men are disrespectful. They
But not
have,
only that, a black one.
Right.
Because it's like we can never collectively collaborate and really, truly, not
Right.
because we say we are, but truly uplift each other
Right.
and come
Have
together
each other's back.
and have more than one black girl pop in a
girl,
year.
because I
But-
hate that narrative. Who's the queen and who's
Yeah,
not? It's like
everybody
who
gotta
cares?
be the queen,
right?
And it's just like, what? Remember when it was like ladies' night?
Right, right,
You
right,
know,
right.
Lift Eye, Kim. Like it was so many
Right.
female rappers that came together, but you could tell they was really friends.
And they were boss
probably.
in their own rights, and then they came together, and it felt so good. The
Yeah.
synergy
It felt
just
authentic.
felt
Now
yes.
it's super fake and super
It's super
artificial.
competitive. That's why.
Competitive.
Because
I
now
feel like
it's
men
about
put us
competition.
against each other.
Yeah.
And they love
I
it
really
too.
do.
They love to see
because
us
it
go
could
at
be
each
all
other.
kind of bosses of men all over as rappers and no king. Who's
Yeah.
fighting to be the king? The only thing they're fighting to be the king
But
of
you
is
know
their
who
city.
said that today? Nikki. Nikki said if it was a vagina on it,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be no people saying this. But it's like every time it's a woman, it's like
They fought her against everybody too, but now I'm listening to her, and same as Kanye, I listen to him sometimes, and I'm like, okay, you guys
You
are
make
making a lot of
sense.
sense now.
Of course, they're gonna make them seem
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, at
Oh, yeah.
first, yeah. And she's not really well, I don't know if she's a competitor.
no,
or
I think
not.
she went to a time to where we all do in life.
Yes.
She had a mental situation to where it's like
I gotta prove.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say what I wanna effing say
Right.
because I've been told so many times behind
Right.
closed doors I can't. To
Right.
where she Queen Radio, she was just giving people too much.
Right, right,
and
right.
people don't like real. Let's just be
Right,
real.
right.
People do not
So
like
if you
real.
think that you know, I see yourself being where
Right.
she is. Do you, if that was something that you were going against, how would you handle that? Would you?
I would have to sit my ass down like Beyonce do.
You and Brianna, okay, she retired. She said,
I'm gonna sit my ass down. I ain't playing with you
Because
people.
nobody's gonna mentally make me go that crazy
Yeah.
to where I don't even know who I am anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Because people are now starting to second guess themselves.
Absolutely.
And it's messing with their mental as who they are, not for Instagram and not for the whole
Right.
world, but for who they are for the people
Right,
that
yeah.
love them.
It's hard
Right,
for people
that's
to
true.
separate the two.
Yeah, they don't know how to. And for me, I just know what I can mentally take. And I
Right.
know I would not be able to take certain things that some of these celebrities are going through with the
Hell
cancel
yeah.
culture and
Cancel culture is disrespectful. We're
Yeah.
gonna be
This
walking
time
around
is
in the
so
dark.
sensitive. It's just it's ridiculous.
At
You
some
can't
point,
talk
I
about
was
anything.
agreeing with some of the stuff, but I'm like, come on now, you can't do anything.
because
getting
you know,
crazy.
sometimes we should not have kitchen talk out loud. But I mean, if I'm a person and I'm just gonna be, we have the freedom to speak. We should be able to.
yeah, very
So.
true.
So you seem very passionate, like you are a passionate person.
Very.
Do you pour this into your music?
Yeah, for sure. I'm a writer.
Yeah.
So it's like I rap and I sing. So for somebody like me, it's storytelling for me. This
Right.
is my therapy. This is
Good.
literally something that has saved my life.
Good.
When I was young, I was a cutter. That's something that I struggled with for a long time.
Really?
Yes, a very
How
long
does that
time.
look like? How do
Does
you-
that have anything to do with your tattoos?
Oh, for sure.
Because I know I've gotten tattoos to release before as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
So
So that's another thing that saved my life.
yeah.
I was saying, how does that look to do that? Like, where do you start? Like, how did that start?
What we was just talking about earlier. You know, your upbringings and the things that you see at home and what it can turn into for a child mentally and what they start like thinking about themselves. Because now I'm looking at all of this toxicness. I'm thinking I must be toxic too. I must be the reason or
Did you ever
blaming
at one
myself.
point question your self-worth?
Yeah, of course. I feel as thus when you're a teenager, especially what these kids are going through, and that's why a lot of them are committing suicide. But I feel like when you're going through, especially as us as women, them hormones
Yeah.
Yeah.
and puberty and just all these different things, it's a lot if you're dealing with a lot of mess too.
How old were you when it started? Like,
I was, man, it had to be 7th grade.
wow.
7th or 8th grade for sure.
my
So middle school. And that's where I see now as being a mother, where a lot of depression with kids can come into play with middle school.
Yeah.
And you're so beautiful. I
Middle
wouldn't have
school's hard.
never known.
You never know what
you
people
never
are
know what
going
people
through.
are going through.
That's one, if I have learned anything in this industry, in my life and whatever, you never know what people are going through.
And what phased you out of that, or like?
Therapy, but not only that, with myself, of finding out who I am and what I'm worth.
Absolutely.
And loving myself. Because if I never would have found that, I would still be doing things to self-destruct.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It would be so easy to do. But once you find out who you are and your self-worth, because especially growing up too, I used to be bullied for being different. I used to be the girl with the long braids in middle school with beads and, you know, very colorful, wearing the Spice Girl platform.
That is so crazy because looking at her, I would be bullied because of
That's
me.
what I literally
So
just
saying,
had that
that's
conversation
crazy.
with someone that we think that dark girls have this story. Oh my God, woe is me. And then I was talking to a friend recently who told me, she was like, no, her cousin is mixed. And she's like, she used to always say, oh, they try me because I'm light skinned. Like she had this thing about her, because she's pretty and this and that. And she's like, I got bullied all my life because I had good hair and this
But you
and
know
that, or
the thing,
whatever.
I would never, colorism is so real.
Right.
I would never say colorism isn't real because my sisters are brown skinned, some dark skinned. So it's just like, I know what they went through.
Yeah.
But I will say, I used to get it from both sides. I used to get white people gonna hate, call me the N-word, but I used to also get picked on by my own people too.
Right.
So it's like you're
up.
constantly getting it from both. So it's like people might think like, oh no, they're not going to do anything because you're light. And I'm like, you don't have
You
no
don't
idea.
know.
And then I got this
Right.
stuff going on home with my family
Right.
too. Y'all don't understand.
And then I'm bubbly and different and,
Yeah.
colorful.
And
They're
I have to be that way because if y'all knew what I was going through at home,
That's deep.
you know what I mean? You wouldn't even be doing the shit you're doing now.
Wow.
Because I already got to go through it when I go back to the crib. So it's best for me to be who this person is that I am here with y'all, so I don't do something to myself.
Wow.
And people don't really understand. That's why a lot of kids that get bullied choose to commit suicide.
It's
Yeah, that's a
overwhelming.
real thing. No, I was bullied, and see, I know I had polar opposite of you.
Yeah.
I didn't have long locks. I had little knots.
Girl.
You know what I'm saying? I had little knots, and so I was like really bullied for having full lips and different
Everything that they
eyes
want now,
and,
though. Everything that they are
And people
glorifying
used to say,
now.
"Shut
Yeah,
up!
you're
They're
right.
paying for that," and I'm like, "Where?" You know what I'm saying? Now I
Now
can
they
see
are.
it,
You can
but
see it's clear as
but
day
not
now.
then. And I literally was the only one look like me. My siblings are light, and nothing is thick and full. So
Girl, I
you
used to
know,
want to be brown skin so bad. So bad.
I have a friend that is lighter complexion and she puts her foundation on dark on purpose because she just wants that.
Yeah,
color.
I used to
This
want to
is-
be
I feel
brown.
like you're not black enough.
You're not. You're
What?
white girl. I used to get it so much. I used to be like, oh nah. You're like I'm.
Wow.
And it makes you also too want to feel like, oh, now I gotta prove myself. So now I gotta be a fighter.
Right.
So then I was
That's what I was just saying with my
fighting
friend's
girls.
friend.
You know,
Yeah.
like to let them know too, like you're not gonna be able to punk me or bully me,
Right.
stuff like that.
Girl.
It's like you want to be accepted by your own, and you want to be accepted, out here in this world too.
Oh my God. Okay, so we are being called to rap, but I feel like
There's so much
Yeah,
more.
no,
We just
it
getting to
is
the
definitely so much more. So please, if you could come back,
I
because
would
I'm
definitely love to come
Yes,
back,
please, and we
ladies.
could do longer. We need to get into some stuff because it's really important for me with building this platform. Number one, sisterhood. Number two, shades of sisterhood.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
people put us against each other
All the
often.
time. And I love how we are all a different
Yes,
because we can talk about our own personal
absolutely. It helps
experiences.
somebody because you don't get that representation often.
Because I could definitely relate to your story.
Yes.
That's why I love Red Table Talk. Y'all be watching Red
Yeah,
Table
I
Talk?
Yes.
love. Oh my god.
So, yeah, we're gonna have to get into some. I like this. I love to get into the person before we get into what they do. You can do that
Right.
anywhere. You know what I'm
Anywhere.
saying? And
But
people
it's about
don't
who you
really
are.
connect with you enough to dig in to feel your soul and your spirit. And I genuinely love your spirit. It's
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
And your
ladies.
story thus far, you have to come back.
I will come back. The
Please.
chemistry was so good. You know I'm coming back.
Yes.
So where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram. I am the number 5 IVE. Everybody always gets it confused
Yeah.
with the numbering, but I am 5 is the only social media handle.
I am 5.
Yes.
And
Okay.
then the music.
Yes.
The music is on all music platforms. And then I got Super Turnt.
Yes.
That's out right now on Amazon Prime, Tubi, Apple TV.
Yes.
And then y'all know Queen of Slim. You can find it
Yes.
on all platforms.
You guys, she is amazing. She is amazing. If you don't know her, you gotta know her. Go check her out.
Yes.
And that's a wrap. Thank you for coming.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so
letting
much.
me be here, ladies. This